MOORE P&O cheap labor disgrace is just what racist Brexit debate builder feared. There was a pivotal moment when I first realized that, despite the confidence of the chattering classes saying the UK would remain in the EU, the exact opposite would happen. It came during a 2016 TV debate, when a member of the public explained his concerns about uncontrolled immigration to a panel of politicians. He pointed out that, as a permanent resident of this country, he was a committed and active member of his community, his kids went to the local school, he had a mortgage, a car, and all the cost of living bills that go with family life. To pay for all that, he had to earn a decent wage. He was a builder, as I recall, but was suddenly being undercut at every job pitch by foreign workers who, living cheek by jowl in temporary accommodation and with few overheads, could work for less money, which they then sent home to their family in whatever country they hailed from. It was nothing to do with nationality or skin color, and everything to do with the fact that temporarily imported cheap foreign labor was a valid concern for those, of all nationalities and skin colors, who reside full-time in the UK. But rather than sympathize, the majority of the panel preferred to virtue signal their right-on credentials by making it clear they regarded his concerns as racist. It was a willful misunderstanding of his point, and his expression of hopelessness screamed, "No one in power is listening to me." So, on June 23 the same year, he and 17 million others gave them a wake-up call in the referendum. I thought of this man again this week when reading the detail of the sackings by P&O Ferries. Just months earlier, the company's chief executive had spoken of how essential his staff were, but last week 800 of them were summarily sacked without notice via a Zoom call. And guess what? They were instantaneously replaced with cheaper overseas staff, many of whom are reportedly living in cheap hostels and, in some cases, tents. According to the Rail, Maritime and Transport Union, RMT, many of them could be paid less than the minimum wage, because the ships are registered in other countries and are therefore exempt from UK legislation. We fear poverty pay will be accompanied by seafarers being chained to 12-hour-day, 7-day-week contracts that operate continuously for 6 months, with no pension, says Mick Lynch, RMT's General Secretary. One sacked worker who joined P&O straight from school 30 years ago said, "Yes, we've lost our jobs. But we've also lost our lives to an extent. We spent half of our lives on board those ferries. We had our own cabins, we kitted them out with our own things. It's all been ripped away from us. The guys had 15 minutes to pack up and get off. I've seen grown men in tears worrying how they will pay their mortgage and feed their kids." Quite. A number of politicians are calling the actions of Dubai-owned P&O Ferries disgusting, but, just like those on that TV panel 6 years ago, they will never be replaced by imported cheap labor at a moment's notice. So many, not all, have little understanding of its impact on the lives of ordinary, hard-working people just trying to make ends meet. Poverty pay. No one blames the migrant workers they're trying to provide for their families back home. But with the cost of living crisis looming, many of P&O's long-standing staff will struggle to find jobs to fund their overheads and will inevitably have to claim benefits. Going forward, how does that make economic sense for UK plc? In 2016, the experience of the man on that TV debate was an early warning of an unsustainable situation that the millions who voted for Brexit hoped might be solved. But it fell on deaf ears at the time, and, 6 years on from the referendum, the P&O experience tells us that the problem has escalated and can only get worse. Talk is cheap, so what is the government actually going to do about it?